The Moonlit Promise by Oliver Hale. The Mississippi River shimmered under the pale glow of the rising moon as the paddle steamer Magnolia Belle cut through the water, its brass fixtures glinting in the lamplight. The year was 1856, and aboard the steamer was Eleanor Whitmore, a young woman of quiet intelligence and undeniable beauty, traveling from New Orleans to St. Louis to escape a future she did not choose. Eleanor's father, a wealthy cotton merchant, had arranged her marriage to a man she had met only once, Bernard Stapleton, a banker with a ruthless reputation. The engagement had been settled over brandy and cigars without a word to her. But Eleanor had her own plans. With the help of her childhood nursemaid, she had slipped away in the night, boarding the Magnolia Belle with only a satchel of belongings and a handful of silver coins. She stood at the railing, breathing in the cool night air, her mahogany curls pinned beneath a bonnet. Her gloved hands clutched the rail as she considered her future. That was when she noticed him, a man watching her from across the deck. Nathaniel Reed was a gambler, a rogue and an enigma. He was known for his charm, his quick wit, and the pistol tucked discreetly beneath his tailored waistcoat. Born to a family of modest means in Kentucky, he had made his fortune at the card tables, though fortune had a habit of slipping through his fingers just as quickly. Tall and broad-shouldered, with a wry smile and knowing eyes, Nathaniel was the kind of man who could read a person in an instant. And he had read Eleanor the moment she stepped onto the boat she was running from something. "You look as though you've seen a ghost," he said, approaching her with a tip of his hat. She hesitated, unsure whether to engage. A lifetime of being told how a lady should behave warred with the undeniable curiosity she felt. "Just considering the path ahead, Mr. Reed," he said with an easy grin. Nathaniel Reed. "Mr. Reed," she acknowledged, turning back to the river. "And what is it you see when you consider the path ahead?" "A game of chance, Miss Whitmore." "Miss Whitmore." He studied her, noting the fine fabric of her gown and the tension in her posture. "Ah, so you're not accustomed to chance, are you?" "No, I am not," she admitted. "Then perhaps it's time you tried your hand at it." Over the next few days, Eleanor and Nathaniel found themselves drawn into an unlikely friendship. He taught her the intricacies of poker, not for money, but for the sake of strategy. Eleanor, much to her surprise, excelled at reading the faces of the men at the table. With every game, she shed a little more of the life that had been dictated for her. One evening, as the boat neared Memphis, Nathaniel found Eleanor sitting alone in the ship's parlor, idly turning a playing card over in her hands. "You've got the look of someone with a decision to make," he remarked. She met his gaze. "I do." "And?" She hesitated before answering. "I am to meet my father in St. Louis. If I do, I will be forced into a life I do not want." Nathaniel leaned against the chair opposite her. "Then don't meet him." "It isn't that simple." "Why not?" She sighed. "Because I am alone in the world. If I refuse my father, I have nothing." Nathaniel studied her for a long moment before saying, "You have more than you think." Before she could respond, the boat lurched violently, throwing Eleanor forward. A commotion erupted from the deck, shouts rising over the whistle of the wind. Nathaniel grabbed her arm, steadying her. "Stay here," he ordered, already moving toward the door. Eleanor, of course, did not listen. On deck, chaos reigned. A group of armed men had boarded the steamer, their faces obscured by scarves. River pirates. The crew was outnumbered, the captain held at gunpoint. Nathaniel moved swiftly, assessing the situation. He recognized the leader, Silas Rourke, a man with whom he had once shared a card table and a near-fatal disagreement. Well, Silas drawled, spotting Nathaniel. "If it isn't the luckiest scoundrel on the river." "Silas," Nathaniel said evenly, "you're making a mistake." Silas chuckled. "I don't make mistakes, Reed." Eleanor, watching from the shadows, felt her pulse quicken as Silas turned toward the passengers. "We'll be relieving you of your valuables now," he said. The pirates moved through the crowd, snatching coins, watches, and jewelry. When one of them reached for Eleanor, she stiffened, refusing to cower. The man grinned, but before he could touch her, Nathaniel stepped between them. "That's enough," he said coolly. Silas raised an eyebrow. "You're protecting her?" Nathaniel didn't hesitate. "I am." For a moment, silence stretched between them. Then, to Eleanor's astonishment, Silas let out a barking laugh. "You've got guts, Reed. Fine, keep your lady." With that, the pirates retreated, disappearing into the night as quickly as they had come. The following morning, the Magnolia Belle docked in Memphis. Eleanor stood at the gangway, her satchel in hand, staring at the bustling city before her. "You could stay," Nathaniel said behind her. She turned to face him. And what would I do? He grinned. Beat gentlemen at cards, start a new life, make your own way. She searched his face. And you? This time he hesitated before answering. I could stay too. Surprise flickered across Eleanor's expression, then something softer. You would? Nathaniel took her hand in his. I think I'd rather take my chances with you. A slow smile spread across her lips. Then let's see where the cards fall. Hand in hand they stepped off the steamer together, ready to forge a life of their own, one filled with adventure, chance, and love.